Hi, everybody. This is Arthi from Human Chapters. I'll tell you a little bit about human chapters. Humans are living narratives with a past, present, and future. These narratives constitute of a number of chapters across a lifespan. The aim of these conversations is to highlight a chapter of the narrative and unpack its connections to other chapters. I don't care whether people are natural storytellers, but I truly do believe each one of us has a worthy story to share. Acknowledgement to country. We acknowledge the traditional owners and custodians of the lands on which we meet. We pay respect to their tribal elders, past and present and emerging. We celebrate their continuing culture and we acknowledge the memory of their ancestors. Today, we have the honor of speaking to Dhruti about her chapter, My Yoga Journey. Welcome, Dhruti. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hi, Aarti. First of all, thank you so much for reaching out and allowing me to share my chapter.
So good.
I'm Dhruti. I'm from Kenya. I wear many hats like the way all of us do. So I'm a daughter, wife, mother to two beautiful sons who are 11 and 12 now. I'm an entrepreneur. I retired 5 years ago from my own business. I then went on to take care of myself, so physically, mentally, spiritually. And then here I am. I am a podcaster and I'm also a performance coach. So that's me in like, yeah, less than 2 minutes.
That's incredible, Dhruti. Tell us about your yoga journey, but not when it physically started. Tell us about the conception, the birth, yeah, when it was planted for you.
Oh my God. Okay. So I truly believe it wasn't this lifetime, but
Mm.
I'll talk about this lifetime.
Yeah.
So I was just talking to my husband the other day and I told him when I was young, like my kid's age, I was born in India
Mm.
and we moved to Kenya when I was like 13 years. So when I was 10, 11, I remember going up on the terrace and just looking up and crying to God, like, oh my God, where are you? And just having conversations like a crazy person. But I truly believe when I actually focused on my breath was when I was giving birth to my firstborn.
Yeah.
It was so painful, and I know I usually scream at everything. I'm the loudest in the theater, but when it came to this, somehow I just closed my eyes and just watched my breath for 4 hours because that's how long the labor lasted. And something shifted. Something definitely shifted then. Just 4 hours watching my breath. I was just with every contraction, with every, yeah, breath. That's when it
Mm.
started.
Tell us, okay, so what year would that have been? 11 years from now,
2013.
2013. Awesome. Um, what happened? Why was that breath so important in connection to the 11-year-old you having conversations?
So the 11-year-old me I just remember having this yearning, this thing that my life is going to be different this life compared to anything I might have felt. But in this life, I wanted to know myself, my purpose, why I'm here on this earth, who I am.
Mm.
Now, by now, I know I'm not the body or my mind. So who is it? Who is this living thing? So that's the feeling I remember that I want to know,
Mm.
I'm so eager, like, and the breath watching is so important because in many, many, ways to know yourself, sitting in meditation, sitting in silence, just sitting and watching your breath or being with the breath is so important. So at that time when I was going through labor, I didn't know what it was. But now as I'm taking steps into my yoga and towards my, spirituality, I know for sure that that really played a part, because right now I can't sit for 4 hours watching my breath.
Mm. Mm.
But if I
Yeah.
could, I would definitely be a different person.
Yeah. That's incredible. What what happened next for you after or when you realized you had the shift? What's the
Oh
next?
no, I didn't realize that I had that shift then.
Okay.
So I'm now a mommy of one and it's all new.
Yeah.
So I start that journey, and I'm all, how to take care of a newborn and what
Mm.
does this mean for me. I did go through postpartum depression.
Mm.
Um, I have a huge, number, like huge family, people who love me. So they supported me through that. And
Mm.
I started working,
Mm.
and then I was 29 then, and I always had this thought in my head that whatever number of kids I wanted to have them before I'm 30, 32, right? Especially
Mm.
just before 30, I want to be done with having kids.
Mm.
So I'm 29, and I tell my husband, so we're only having one kid, right? He's like, no, for the sake of the first one. Because
Yeah.
it's like, look how close you are to your sister. And I'm like, yeah,
Mm.
I can't imagine my life without her. And
Mm.
we're like, okay, let's ask a few of our friends or people who
Mm.
we know who are, single kids. And then we asked a few, and they're like, no, oh my God, I would do anything to have a sibling.
Mm.
And we're like, okay. So I told him, I'm like, we must start now. Like, I don't
Mm.
want to wait. I don't want 4 years or 5 years and then we get back to bottles and nappies and
Mm.
stuff. And we're both getting old, and I want to have a natural birth and, natural pregnancy. So that's what we had the first time around.
Mm.
So I was so naive. I thought it's going to take like a few months before we fall pregnant.
Mm.
So we started, and I got pregnant just the first time. So the gap between my kids is 11 months.
Okay. Beautiful.
So obviously, everybody thought we were crazy. But anyways, so again, two kids under like 1 year.
Mm.
Life was so busy. I'm working, and house, kids, big family.
Mm.
I could not manage myself, my emotions, my
Mm.
internal being. So now my kids are like 2, 3 years old, and anytime something happens, something goes wrong, I'm stressed out and I remove it on them. I
Mm.
shout at them. I'm always angry.
Mm.
I am fighting with my husband. And a lot of people right now who are listening might be like, oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. And, you know, I didn't know how to get out of this. I knew this is not how I want to live my life, but I didn't know how to get out of this. Just then, one of my friends who has her own chapter and
Mm.
who was going through a very bad time in her life,
Mm.
we worked together. We were partners in the business, and she's my friend since like 30 years now.
Yeah.
So she was crying every day. She wanted to run away. She had this massive fight with her husband,
Mm.
and she had a baby, and she was slowly going into depression. She would
Mm.
come to me every time I see her crying. Every time
Mm.
she's just sad. When I saw this bubbly person really just become that sad. And then she was also really stuck, but she wanted something to change. So she got into yoga. And within 6 months, her smile came back. Within 6 months, she started forgiving people. Within 6 months, we started getting her back. And I'm like, I want what you have.
Yeah.
And that's when she told us about inner engineering program that was offered by Satguru. So that's when we joined.
You're, firstly, I can't imagine that sort of that period that seems so heavy, so filled with different transitions for you. And what strikes me is the loss of control of that internal being. That those few words of that sentence is quite striking in that you realized it, you noticed it, you're reflecting on the inside, but you're reflecting on the inside by looking at the external. And not just the external of your household, but the business as well and what others are going through. Then comes another person with their own journey, but then similarities or whatever it is that has where you see those connections for you guys. Then comes the introduction to inner engineering. Before we get into that bit, the part around postpartum depression, to having the second child, to understanding what, like these massive roller coasters, what, only if you're comfortable, what did that feel like for you? Just thinking about, yeah, I'm very curious just about what that period of life was like.
So whenever anybody asks me about those first 2, 3 years after the babies were born, I said those are dark times. Oh my God. What I mean by that is you wake up, you have to now take care of another human being or, somebody else. And then the business. So everything else comes first, but you're last. So that was one thing. Then loss of identity, like all of a sudden you can't you're just a mummy because everything you do is around the baby's clockwork. So you are nothing else but a mom now. And that's a huge transition because nobody, people can tell you, but when you actually go through it is when you realize what that shift looks like for a person, from being able to just drive and do everything without thinking about anything else. Now you have to think of the timing, what time they'll wake up, who's taking care of them, the feeding, the nap, everything. And loss of freedom. Because again, it's all connected. And then your body isn't yours. You don't recognize yourself when you look into the mirror. As much as my husband or all the men out there want to understand, they are super awesome, they're compassionate, but we also don't know what we're going through. So for us to even put it in words for them and for them to understand what's happening with us, there's a big disconnect. So you feel all alone in this journey, in this world. And it's that loneliness tied to that loss of freedom and, losing your identity, or I wouldn't say losing your identity, but just getting connected to this new identity is a whole lot of thing that one person deals with. And then there's the hormones.
Mm.
So I think feeling really lonely and thinking that nobody understands is if you had to just put words to it.
Mm. Yeah.
Yeah.
You've you've described it, explained that so beautifully for somebody that doesn't know what it's like to go through it, but can draw different connections from it, from perhaps a changing body or perhaps just different phases of life. But that idea of loss of identity, loss of freedom, but then also the shift to connection to a new identity, because that idea of birth and rebirth or different transitions. And yeah, you're right. Like a change in something, some changes are easier to accept, but some are very difficult in their magnitude to even understand and fathom what that's, yeah, what that's doing to a person in body, mind, spirit, like every facet of a human being.
Yeah, because this is like a tsunami. Your life
Yeah.
is going to shift 360 degrees and tsunami of every kind, like
Mm.
is what I explained, right?
Yeah.
And it's a lot to fathom.
Yeah. Then tell us about inner engineering and perhaps at this point, even how old the kids were when you started to, yeah, when you started to learn about this program.
So kids were 4 and 5, age four
Mhm.
and 5 years. Um, by now, my kids have started, doodling,
Mm.
and they would draw mummy with curly hair, one or two curls.
Yeah.
But I would be looking scary, like a
Mm.
witch in their drawings. So they were always scared of me.
Mm.
They were always scared that I'm going to snap.
Mm.
My husband would walk into the door and would be so scared.
Mm.
Oh, what is she going to snap about today? Uh, and after doing inner engineering, I'll tell you what inner engineering is in a
Mm.
bit. After doing inner engineering, uh, my kids gave me a smile in their
Mm.
pictures.
Wow.
And for, that age of kids to be able to feel that, I think that was huge for me. And my husband could sit down and talk to me about things because he also went through inner engineering with me.
Mm.
We both noticed that we want this, and we both did the inner engineering program together. Now, this is a yoga program that is offered by Sadhguru.
Mm.
Um, After you've gone through the initiation process, you do the set of yoga every day. It's a 21-minute meditative um, process called Shambhavi Mahamudra.
Mm.
And after you do Shambhavi every day, you feel very calm. No matter what life would throw at you,
Mm.
your within would be happy, stable.
Mm.
If I've had an accident, okay, I'll be like, okay, now what? It
Mhm.
has happened.
Mm.
If something happens at work, somebody tells you something, maybe I'm cooking and the food goes bad, or anything, if kids have
Mm.
fallen sick, if I fall down, now the first thing I do is maybe laugh.
Mm. Yeah.
um, so it's been about 8 years we've been practicing Shambhavi Mahamudra.
Mhm.
Uh, and now I can tell you for sure it's life before yoga and
Mhm.
life after yoga. Like it was a complete rebirth. Yeah, in how we see things,
Mm.
how we perceive things, what we can hold on to, what we
Mm.
just, let go,
Mhm.
forgiveness. If I'm talking to somebody, you can then, put yourself in that person's shoes and you don't just judge.
Mm,
And all these are very nice and, hunky-dory things to say,
mm,
but to be able to experience,
mm,
that's been awesome. And also this shift didn't happen overnight, right?
mhm, mhm,
Um, it was very subtle. It was first you notice it,
mm.
then people who you live with notice. I mean, my kids, my husband, then the
Yeah.
extended family. And recently, like when I go and talk to like anyone, they'll be like, if you have this presence that
Mm.
is so calming. And I'm like, really? I'm all like, ooh. They're like, no. So now, like, I feel like lately a lot of other people have been noticing, but also not getting stuck on that
Mm.
because I've got a long way to go.
Yeah.
But I know these little shifts are coming from doing Shambhavi every day.
So then take us through inner engineering. So what is it, firstly, as a I'm thinking about the theory around it, in engineering, to then I would love to understand the application of it. You've explained a few points around it, but some real examples of that insight into, whoa, this is shifting or this happened. Like those pivotal moments within your shifts.
Okay, so Inner Engineering is an offering by Sadhguru and
Mm,
Isha Foundation to the whole world. And why it's called Inner Engineering is basically Sadhguru says you're only in control of yourself.
mm,
So what you do to yourself is what you can control. So engineer your within in
mm,
such a way that what I explained, that anything that happens around you doesn't affect you.
mm,
You are in control of your own happiness, your own sadness. If you want to get angry, you get angry.
mm,
So doing everything with awareness, doing everything with, that sort of consciousness. And it's a 21-minute, as I said, um, process.
mm,
Um, and this is the start. This is when I feel Satguru plants that seed in a person.
mm, mm,
And then every day when we sit and do Shambhavi Mahamudra is basically when we are watering the seed and,
mm,
giving it sunlight. And then slowly, slowly it sprouts into this beautiful sapling and then a little tree. So that is the effect, like the effect of that tree is what I was explaining
mm.
earlier. But um, I, I, I I can't tell you what I mean. It's an experiential program,
Yeah.
and it's a set of yoga practices, but
Yeah.
he's designed it in such a way that it then manifests into something beautiful in a person.
And within the 21 minutes, Shambhavi, is it purely like, is it a mixture of physical to meditation, or take us through what that would be
It's
like?
meditative. It's
Yeah.
meditative practice. It's
Yeah.
so Isha Yoga offers both meditative or Kriya Yoga and Hatha Yoga. Hatha Yoga is where Surya Namaskar comes in,
Mm.
or full body workout, which
Yeah.
is Angamardana comes in. So yes, I also practice those,
Mm.
but Shambhavi Mahamudra, which is the meditative 21-minute, process,
Mm.
is very subtle. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. And so once you've sort of understood that practice, what has it been like I suppose when you started practicing it in the first few years, the little shifts in connection to what the world used to be like before. And by world, I mean the household, the business, those kinds of things.
Yeah. So, okay. 2018 November 2018 is when we got initiated into Shambhavi Mahamudra, and my husband and I have been talking about buying a house.
Mm.
And we had all these reservations. Like, by then we were living next to my in-laws. So he's like, oh my God, they'll think we're moving away. And
Mm.
oh my God, where's all this money going to come from? Because I had just started my business. He had just, started his.
Mm.
So whatever we're putting back into the business. We've got now 2 small kids.
Mm.
Okay, so there's all these different aspects. First of all, we were not ready to move away from family.
Mm.
Second is the monetary aspect. So we never looked around anywhere.
Mm.
November, we did Shambhavi Mahamudra. We talked about getting a house.
Mm.
We're looking for houses which are within a certain, range.
Mm.
We're looking at 3-bedroom houses. And I'm like, I have this idea of I want my house to have so much light and so much
Mm.
air, and
Mm.
it should be this way, it should be that way. But whatever we were looking for, we were compromising on so many things.
Mm.
And then from nowhere, we saw this house, which was a bit above our budget.
Mm.
We talked to the developer. He gave us installment time. 1st April 2019,
Yeah.
we moved into this house.
Oh my gosh.
It's not even a year. It's
Yeah.
it's a few months
Yeah.
from talking, looking, raising
Mm.
the money, getting that deal.
Mm.
Oh my God. So fast forward to December 2019. My husband, September-ish, he started thinking about getting this Devi yantra in the house. Now, Sadhguru offers this yantra to people who want their, health, wealth, social aspects taken care of. And he believes if all these are taken care of by, a yantra or a tool,
Mm.
then you will focus on your spiritual. Then you will say, okay, now I have all this. Now let me go inwards.
Mm.
So he's been thinking about it. He doesn't talk to me. He
Mm.
doesn't tell me he's thinking about it. 2 months before, so now we're in like October,
Mm.
I get a dream that we're getting yantra. And by now, I don't even know what this tool or this yantra or this, is.
Mm.
I'm like, funny, I got this dream. And he's like, oh my God, I've been thinking about it. I'm like, oh, then share, like communicate. And we're like, oh my God, should
Yeah.
we? And then there was no question. We registered and we said that the December 2019 is the initiation for Yantra happens twice in June, July, or
Mm.
December.
Mm.
So we're now 2 months in, and we have to like register for it at least 4 or 5 months in advance. But we're like, let's just try if we get in. And we got in, and we're like, oh, now we have to go ashram. So we booked our tickets,
Yeah.
and kids are like, oh, you're not going ashram without us.
Yeah.
So December, we got this yantra.
Yeah.
And this yantra is supposed to help us with our practices. It's a consecrated yantra. So it makes your whole house, a live energy field. And yeah, what
So,
happens after this, I'll tell you in a bit.
yeah. So, Dhruti, is that yantra, is it a tangible something that you keep at your house, or is it an event, ritualistic? What?
Okay. it is a tangible
Yeah.
yantra.
Yeah.
It is a tangible tool.
Yeah.
For people who have faith, will call her Devi,
Yeah. So
a
like an
goddess.
idol. Yeah.
Yes. And people who just want it as a tool will
Mm.
call it a yantra, because that's a direct translation in
Mm.
Hindi and Gujarati. Tool means yantra, right?
Yeah.
So it's a tangible thing. And in terms of rituals, we just have to light a lamp every day.
Mm. Mm.
So you would do that for any other idols that you have at home, right? Yeah, so that's what it is.
Okay. So you've got that in December 2019. What happens next?
So now we live in an extended family,
Mm.
and ever since I got married, we've all been talking about like sorting the assets, for my father-in-law and his brothers,
Mm.
because by now everything is all, mixed, like how we all live in a big fat,
Yeah.
house with so many aunts and uncles and, all the cousins. So it was like that. Everybody's happy, everybody, talks to everyone, but now it's the third generation, my husband
Mm.
and his, brothers and everyone coming into the business. So we're like, while all of you guys are here,
Mm.
let's at least have it in writing.
Mm.
We had been saying this for 10 years.
Yeah, wow.
Nobody would agree or sit down, or it was
Mm.
just this thing like, oh my God, how can we now? Like, you mean we're all
Mm.
separating? Nobody said that. Nobody felt that, but it just never happened.
Mm.
Devi's come into our life December.
Mm.
Within 6 months, everybody's sat,
Mm.
everybody's agreed without any external lawyers or anybody. Everybody
Mm.
has agreed this is what is going to happen. I'll keep this, you keep that, this, that,
Mm.
everything's written, everybody signed, everyone's happy. And I'm like, what?
Mm.
What just happened? And for this to happen, then there were 2, 3 other steps that was supposed to be taken.
Mm.
So we had to pay somebody else for this other property that was jointly owned by my father-in-law's cousins and everybody.
Mm.
And we weren't getting an answer from them. And by the end of 2020,
Mm.
that happened.
Yeah, wow.
And okay, unfortunately, then COVID hit and
Mm.
we lost one of our uncles,
Oh,
my father-in-law's brother.
yeah.
Um, but these are all things that, like, I'm telling you, the magnitude, like how
Mm.
people became receptive
Mm.
to the idea that, okay, this can happen.
Mm.
This can happen amicably.
Mm.
There's nothing wrong with this.
Yeah.
We're all still happy. We all still talk to each other.
Mm.
So if it was left to anybody, like, I feel like if we were to do it
Mm.
ourselves, it didn't happen. People were
Mm.
not open to it. But it took something higher than us for
Mm.
people to, start becoming receptive to the idea, and even sitting down and very nicely, like, if I
Mm.
still remember that day, like, okay,
Yeah.
and I'm like, what? We've been saying this for 10 years and it just one seating, 2 hours, like,
Yeah.
you
And
know.
that idea of a harmonious event in a way where
Yeah, because Aarti, like, we've heard so many families who
mm,
break because of, assets and money and things like that, right? Especially
mm,
like just money.
yeah.
And people who've been like, so close, and one day, they just start fighting, especially
Mm,
between brothers, right?
mm, yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. That is so, it's fascinating to think about this conversation and the what we started with and now reflecting back on it to go, you've had a change, you've had these shifts, you've You're undertaking this program, which is a daily 21-minute Shambhavi, and different bits and pieces are happening. I'd love to. Oh, yes, go on, Dhruti.
So also like the way we approach people now after doing Shambhavi definitely was different.
Mm, okay.
So, you know, the Shambhavi Mahamudra that we're doing. So now we're also different. So we're talking to different people differently.
Mm,
Maybe we can relate to them more. So
mm,
it's all these subtle changes that we are facing, but we
mm,
can't really, you know, pinpoint that this is it,
mm,
is
mm.
probably also contributing to all this.
Yeah. And it's such an important thing, right? There's subtle changes, but also as life happens, things that are happening connect to others. There are always those invisible strings that are connecting, pulling and pushing different elements to make other things happen. So there is, yeah, that idea of not that one thing, but how many things in concert with each other is actually supporting the lifestyle.
Of course.
Yeah. Tell us about what things started to look like within the house and your connection with your cherubs, with your husband, that part of the internal being that was, yeah, confronted to start with.
So, my husband and I started communicating more,
Mm,
and there was the friction got less and less and less within and, you know, with each other.
mm,
Uh, the alignment started happening. Now we're now looking at things together.
mm,
Okay, so if like it's like us against the problem or us
mm.
against anything, right? Before it was us against each other.
Yes.
It doesn't work.
Mm,
So now when we're talking, we're communicating,
mm,
even if I'm talking loudly, he would be able to tell me, I'm right here. Can you please just, you know, talk to
mm,
me? Or if you know, if he stops and I'll be like, you're closing again, like, can you just come and talk to me? We can just, you know, talk about this, what's
mm,
happening. So we started becoming like, you know, there for each other. We started becoming this one unit.
mm,
So then everything else just seemed easy because it was, we had each other.
mm,
So if there's anything that's thrown at us, we're like, okay, what do we do now? Okay. How about this? How about
mm,
that? Um, and that just made this living in this house so beautiful
mm,
because you know, he's not coming home to a wife that's just, you know, ready to burst.
mm.
And I'm not waiting, you know, for, you know, for a fight or when is he going to
Mm.
do this? So now I can, you know, scream at him.
Yeah.
So that really started shifting, and a lot of things fell apart in terms of he should do it this way or she should do it
Mm,
that way.
mm,
Um, oh, if you want to do it, okay, fine, but I don't want to do it. Okay, no problem. So there was a lot of oiling and greasing that was happening every day with the Kriya that now we saw in our everyday alignment.
mm,
And with kids, they started becoming happier,
mm,
and they started talking to me more and telling us things about their lives. And
mm,
um, right now they're 11 and 12. Like I can't tell you one particular example, but the communication between our kids and us is really open. We've talked to them about all the big subjects, you know,
mm.
um, like adoption,
Mm.
how, periods,
Mm.
relationships,
Yeah.
divorce,
Mm.
sex,
Mm.
consent, investments, buying a
Yeah.
business, selling a business. Like, there isn't anything in the house that we hide. If we're talking in the house, they're present.
Yeah.
And also, I s- we started seeing them as individuals and
Mm.
giving them the freedom that they require,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So when we started behaving in such a way, then now they reciprocate and they're able to be like fun and light with us and,
Mm.
do their bit in the house, be responsible. And
Mm.
they also joined in and they also do their yoga. They do yoga namaskar because of their age. They can do Shambhavi Mahamudra when they're 15.
Yeah.
Again, if they want to, they'll do it. We're not going to obviously pressure them because our parents allowed us the same thing.
Mm.
My mom believes in Jainism.
Mm.
My husband's mom believes in Jalaram Bapa.
Mm.
So um, even though they all have their beliefs, we can all sit and do any idols, arti and puja
Mm.
and pray. But when we decided to follow this path, they're all super happy.
Mm.
They come to our Devi, the yantra, and we still do the, puja or arti together.
Mm.
They've all come to the ashram in India and seen. So I feel like, yeah, that's the only way, obviously, we can pay it forward to our kids.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. And it just, yeah, that idea of open communication, but having the big topics, the big conversations, which everyone is getting exposed to um, daily, and
Yep.
to be able to know that there is a safe space to talk about it and just to be with it, no matter how, yeah, how big it feels, but it will be taken care of.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, thank you so much for that, Dhruti. So, since then, what does life look like now, and what are you looking forward to?
So, inner engineering is the first program that Sadhguru offers. After that, there are many, many programs. So we've done the Hatha Yoga,
Mm.
and we recently went to ashram to do two more programs.
Yeah.
One is called Shunya Intensive,
Mm-hmm.
and the other one is called Bhava Spandana. And the next one that I want to go for is Samyama. It's a 7-day silence program.
Mm.
And for that, you have to prepare, your body in such a way that you should be doing certain number of yogic practices,
Mm.
eating and food,
Mm.
certain, diet should be followed. So I'm hoping January next year I be able to go for Samyama.
Yeah. And Dhruti, the other thing that I was wondering about, given the audience for human chapters is a very broad audience, all over the world, if we think about these are the different programs, they're very specific to yoga practices, but we think about, say, even the likes of the breath, the science behind the breath, like what is it actually doing to your body? What are some of these things doing to your body in terms that people will be able to understand if they don't understand Hindi or Gujarati?
Understood. So, um, hmm, our body is designed in a way that we have fight or flight instincts, right?
Mm.
So what this yogic practice does is it starts activating our parasympathetic.
Mm.
So in this day and age, we're always on fight mode.
Mm.
So the stress is so high every day. But we don't take the time out to activate our parasympathetic nerve system. And this does that. So that is what allows our body to maintain our stress level to a certain amount, level, not get scared every time, something happens, not be in that, fight mode all the time.
Yeah.
And that's why the clarity then comes slowly because, you're calm throughout the day.
Mm. And that reminds me of that sort of internal homeostasis, the balance of whether you're under or over, but sort of going back to, well, what is that balance? What is that stable core that is the space that you're not comfortable, but that idea of the safety net. Yeah, no, thank you so much for explaining that. As we wrap up our conversation, has there been anything that I haven't asked you that you have wanted to share and it hasn't been a part of this discussion?
Nope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would you have three or just some important key takeaways for anybody in the world that might be listening to this conversation?
Yeah. It's okay to take time out for yourself, and please do that, because I've realized when I did that, I was much happier person for myself, for my kids, for my husband and family. And when I'm happier and when I am able to be myself, the happy self,
Mm,
everything in the house, everything around me shifts.
mm,
And there's abundance of love and, any kind of energy, whether it's health, wealth, everything.
mm,
When you're happy and when you're in that receptive state, you receive it.
mm,
When you're always in that stress and fight and flight mode, things will pass by. You won't even know.
mm.
So, yeah, be open, be yes to things, and experience, because life can only be lived that way.
Yeah, beautiful. Thank you
Yeah.
so much, Dhruti, for taking the time, energy and effort into sharing your chapter. And for everybody else that may be tuning in and listening to this conversation, it's going to be available on Human Chapters YouTube channel, Human Chapters podcast, and on the Facebook page as well. Feel free to share it with people that may resonate or just wanting to learn something new. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Aarti. Thank you.
You're welcome.